Welcome to the last mass upload of tonight while the wife is out. This is Steve Space with your friends, the belligerent Brexiteer and James Davenport. And this time, we would love to discuss the state of hip hop and how a lot of these young black youths could be a lot more like Kanye West. So, we're going to
Yes.
first go to you, James. What do you think of Kanye West and how he evolved from like a thug rapper who is against the president to someone who has embraced God? We are atheists, but it could still be a good thing. Embrace God,
Yeah.
embrace Trump, and is an independent thinker.
I think it's an absolutely positive change because I remember in late registration he did say that George Bush was this bad guy and he was trying to get on this political stuff, trying to complain about Bush and Katrina. And I feel like nowadays that he's recognized that that was just a phase of his and a natural part of his progression into becoming a Christian, making music that supports the president, and it's no longer talking about selling drugs. And, maybe people like Jay-Z could stop talking about crack and maybe make a gospel album.
Imagine that if black people started, and I'm not speaking as a race, but like black artists started talking more about raising themselves up and having independent thought. It would be really great. So, Brexiteer, I don't want to take your time. What do you think about that?
Well, I must admit that I'm under the belief that you can't spell rap without a C.
Yes.
A C at the
Rapper's
front.
crap. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I like to use that.
But aside from rappers crap, what do you think about like guys like Kanye West who are out there promoting? Like,
well, look,
message?
I let me come that sort of from a different view. I'm thinking a lot about it. We've got a Kanye West sort of kind of person here. Called Stormzy, and he said the other day, and he's like anti-Brexit and pro left-wing stuff, and he said the other day that Britain is 100% racist. Now, I'm sorry, but how
that's
are you,
hilarious,
a black person, telling us that we're all racist when you haven't met all of us? You've come from a black ghetto-y area, which of course you're going to have racial tension there, because you're out robbing shit and stabbing your own kind.
Is he making some greater statement about like police in black neighborhoods or something like that?
No, he's just saying that Britain. He was asked, "Is Britain ITV said, "Is Britain racist?" And he said, "Yes, yes, definitely, 100%." Definitely 100% of the country is racist.
Yeah.
Now, that would mean, now I'm no maths genius, but wouldn't that mean he's also a racist if it's 100%? Or does he not count himself as an English person? In which case, what's he doing here? So this is why I think, I don't know much about Kanye West. I thought he was he was stepping above beyond his barrier.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I didn't like him at Glastonbury because Glastonbury is about, like rock music, like music that requires, be able to play instruments and stuff. However, the stuff he's been saying about Trump, I really admire and respect. And yet, like I said, I'm an atheist, but I'm a cultural Christian. And the fact that he has seen the error of his ways and has released a gospel album, I think is absolutely fantastic.
And I just think it's so funny how the left wants to cancel him as soon as he has independent thought. James, what do you think of that? How Kanye went from like this little liberal icon saying that George Bush doesn't care about black people to now supporting the president and driving these liberals wild?
Well, I just think that they just get mad because all they want is Kanye West to be a Democrat. They just want him to think what they think. And, it's just exactly what Candace Owens says, that everyone is
they want
wanting
him back on the plantation. That's what they want.
Exactly. They want him picking cotton, and they want him. That's the reason they were happy when he was making Yeezys, is because they're just happy that a black person is making their clothes, because it's just as soon as they start trying to break the grain. And I might not agree with Christianity, but I feel like the fact he's trying to at least understand the president shows he's trying to grow as a person.
But isn't that, I think you hit on a really point there that's so endemic to the left. The idea that there always has to be some suffering going on. Now that we live in a non-racist society where anybody, if they just work hard, can overcome adversity in their and their background, yet the left want Kanye West to be working in a cotton field somewhere, because there's always got to be a struggle for these self-righteous, lefties out there, like loony lefties out there. There's always got to be a struggle, and for a struggle, which means people have got to be oppressed. But it's never them, is it? It's always the other people that've got.
Yes, absolutely. I think you guys raised really good points about that. The liberals, despite all of their racial posturing and talking about equality, they clearly want Kanye West to be a Democrat again, to be a communist, to be back in the field and serving them and their narrative, because God forbid a black person in this country has an independent thought. Otherwise, he's not black enough, right?
Yes.
That's how that works.
Exactly.
So white liberals are the ones who arbitrate blackness, I suppose. That their experience is up to the liberals' interpretation of things.
That's the black card.
Yep.
Well, what about, and they talk about cultural appropriation. Well, I'm sorry, why you're mixing, assimilation and integration. You're the ones that want to keep races separate, saying that white people are going to have dreadlocks and other shit.
That's so funny because everything... Okay, so I've done some deep diving on the left, and I have found out that there are black people advocating for their own form of healthcare when they were just a few years ago fighting against segregation. Now it's white people can't have my hairstyle. White people can't listen to my music. White people can't go to North Harlem. White people can't go to some shithole in New York City. White people shouldn't be going to the same schools as us because of racism. They're advocating for segregation again because liberal ideology permeates so much in these East Coast cities, and it permeates so much within the minority community that they don't understand that they're hurting themselves, and they're bringing back these liberal policies, these democratic policies that hurt them to begin with.
I don't want to sound racist as well, but the fact that black people are trying to tell me that I can't listen to Kanye West just makes me just... Like, I'm not saying I want to hurt all black people, but some of them are just... You just want to punch them in the fucking face.
Well, some of them do. They live with a victim mindset. They live with a mentality that they're always being wronged when that's not the case.
They're pussies.
Basically, yeah. They are pussies.
They're seeing the people around them that can't be, that they don't want to, because it is the problem with crap music, isn't it, that it's all about you come from such a deprived area,
yep,
and you're so economically disadvantaged. Shit. And then they just get into this rigmarole, this circular reasoning of like, well, we'll just keep replicating the same damaging behaviour. And rappers constantly been talking about that always, and they're just degrading women, and so I think it's I've not heard any of his songs, but I think Kanye West is a breath of fresh air.
So James, here's a question I want to pose to you. Do you think that there's a strict cultural divide between guys like Kanye West, who preach supporting Trump, who preach making money, who preach independence, and a difference between people like him and Kendrick Lamar, who preaches Black Lives Matters, who preaches destroy white buildings, who preaches attack capitalism, attack white people, attack white women that you called on stage to sing a song with you, and then you had the nerve to cancel her because she said the lyrics.
It's just pathetic, because someone like Kanye would never have an issue with someone saying the lyrics. It's just Kendrick Lamar, you see his performance. He hangs around with people wearing hoods. He likes to cause fires and start stuff. He's just a problem starter. And Kanye's there to extinguish all of the problems that he has. And I just wish that people like Kendrick, like, just because you grew up as a gangster doesn't mean you have to keep saying that way.
This is why I detest Black Lives Matter. I detest Black Lives Matter to its core. All it means is black lives are the only lives that matter.
Exactly.
And
Wildlife stuff.
that's why It's Okay to Be White made such a resurgence, I think, in the meme sphere online, is because Black Lives Matter had pervaded this message. And when people would say, but don't all lives matter, that's why we had It's Okay to Be White. But then you'll notice these leftists, they didn't say it's okay to be any color. They said, no, it's not. So right there, they showed their hand as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Exactly.
Their limp left hand, their soy boy left hand.
And they've been outplayed because Donald Trump and guys like that in the administration, they're playing like this game of chess. And liberals are just playing with checkers, and they're knocking the board over, and they're freaking out about someone saying it's okay to be white. Like, do you realize strategically the perfect counter to that would have been to say it's okay to be any color, and yet they're so butthurt and full of soy. They freak out and they say it's racist to say it's okay to be a color. Are you disconnected from reality? What is this? It's like a joke.
Well, liberal is a synonym for logic. I mean, is a synonym for illogic and irrationality and stupidity.
Yeah, definitely. The way they act shows that, because they, like, even the most basic right-wing strategies, like, I can identify sometimes when we're trolling libs, and they have no answer for it. It is so sad to watch that. And that's why Trump is the president. It's because Hillary just couldn't handle it. She was a pathetic candidate. She was mired in corruption.
Friend of Jeffrey Epstein.
Absolutely. A deep friend of Jeffrey Epstein, a prominent member of the Democratic left in this country. And when you point that out to them, they're just going to say, "Oh, I didn't know that," or they're going to say, "Jeffrey Epstein isn't a true left." Like, it's just nothing but the true Scotsman fallacy, I believe it's called. It's just that over and over and over again.
Jeffrey Epstein was friends with all the liberal elite: Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Tony Blair, Cherie Blair, Kevin Spacey.
Absolutely.
The evidence is unequivocal and irrefutable.
Multiple pictures of all of them together. The fact that they had spoken to Ghislaine Maxwell, just it's overwhelming evidence, and they just refuse to see that because they say, "I'm not a liberal, I'm a communist. I'm not a liberal, I'm a leftist. I'm not a liberal, I'm a schmibberal." It's different. Trust me, I have nothing to do with Hillary Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein, even though you're voting for their candidates. You're voting for their candidates. Again, one more time. You're voting for their candidates. Do you understand that? Like, am I clear enough with your audience, with my audience right now? Do you understand that you're directly supporting those policies? We have 1 minute left, 30 seconds. Go ahead, belligerent Brexiteer.
I think Kanye West has shown great bravery in his in what he's doing, and I wish he'd come over here and help us fight to get Brexit done.
Okay, let's hear from James Davenport. You have 30 seconds if you need them.
I feel like he's able to solve all of the peace that is currently happening because we might be going to war, but I feel like Kanye, as a Christian, might be able to attempt to bring peace. If not, him and Donald Trump will definitely be taking matters into their own hands, and if they do, I support them completely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that is our episode 3 at this point, folks. We will convene when I'm able to. Like I said, I work a lot of hours. Both of these guys are hardworking. They're family men. They're capitalists at their core. So you guys want to say goodbye, sign out? We got 30 seconds.
Adios, amigos.
Take care, everybody. Get Brexit done.
Okay. James?
It's been good.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Good night.